You know what? There was one moment that made the internet, especially among armies, suddenly full of emotion mixed with pride, mixed with a sense of nostalgia. The picture is simple, just two guys working out at the gym. But when you know who they are, BTS aka Kim Taehyung and Jungkook BTS, you immediately understand why this moment is so rare, even iconic. It's not just about their bulging bodies, but there's a much deeper story about brotherhood, dedication, and the meaning of loyalty in the midst of their military service. And in this video, we don't just talk about the photo, we unpack everything. What it means, why it's so emotional, and what it means for K-pop in theory and fandom culture. The photo first surfaced not from a major media outlet, not from a HYBE press release, not even from an official military account, but from a small community that observes the activities of idols who are serving in the military. I don't know who first shared it, but once it appeared, the world seemed to stop for a while. In the photo, V and Jungkook are seen doing physical training together at a military gym. Their clothes are military standard, their faces don't have much expression, but their body language says a lot. Jungkook with a manly posture, slightly bent position after lifting weights. Taehyung next to him, calm but clearly focused. One picture and boom, armies were instantly full of tears and praise. To the layman, this might just be a moment of two public figures working out together. But if you followed BTS' journey from the beginning, you understand that this isn't just an ordinary photo. It's a symbol of a brotherhood that was formed not in a month or two, but over a decade. A symbol of loyalty to the group, even when they're not on stage. And a symbol of sacrifice in a form that is rarely seen in the military. Let's talk a bit about the emotional side first. Armies, who are mostly used to seeing Taehyung and Jungkook shine on stage, suddenly see them in a harsh, cold, and disciplined military-like setting. There was shock, but there was also immense pride. Because even though they are global stars, they're still doing their country's duty. And no kidding, they didn't ask for special treatment. Taehyung even joined the Special Forces, aka the elite unit. So why is this moment of them training together so moving? Because of one important thing, their presence together. In the midst of pressure, they still try to support each other. It's not just physical training, it's mental training. They strengthen each other. Jungkook, often referred to as the Golden Magne, has a unique relationship with Taehyung. It's not always smooth. Sometimes they argue, sometimes they have small fights, but their bond is like that of siblings. And it's clearly reflected in that one gym photo. If you study fandom culture theory, especially from the perspective of East Asian pop culture, the relationship between members in idol groups has symbolic value for fans. Cultural sociologists call this parasocial brotherhood, where fans build deep emotional connections based on interactions between idols. So when V and Jungkook are seen together, especially in a harsh context like the military, fans feel like they're watching two siblings watch out for each other in the middle of a storm. This is also related to the performative loyalty theory, where idols show their loyalty not just through words, but through actions. Entering the military together, training together, is the highest form of performative loyalty in Korean culture. Because there, the military is not just an obligation, but part of the honor of being a citizen. If you think that moment ends with one photo, you're wrong. That's just the tip of the iceberg. What you can't see is deeper, the personal transformation of these two, V and Jungkook. And this is really important for you to understand, because there are many misconceptions about what happens to an idol when they enter the military. Many fans think that military service is like a pause button for their career. But if you look at BTS, especially V and Jungkook, what happens is a process of self-definition, not stagnation, but metamorphosis. Just look at their gestures in that photo. The way they stand, the look in their eyes, and the position of their bodies during training. That's not the style of a guy who just joined the gym a week ago. It's the body language of someone who has accepted the rigors of the system and made it part of their routine. And it's interesting, because they were previously known as artists with very guarded lifestyles. Now, they wake up at 5 a.m., run around the field, eat with the troops. There's no privilege. And you know what the psychological effect of that is? It's called defamiliarization. a social psychology theory where a person is released from their comfort zone, forced to live in a new pattern, and from there they find their other self. A self that is stronger, more clearly oriented, and more emotionally mature. And you know what the long-term effect of all this is? BTS is not a group that will disband when they finish their service. On the contrary, they'll come back with a strength that we never imagined before. Because after going through the pressures of the military, especially together, they don't just become performers, they become resilient leaders. V, who is now disciplined like a special forces officer, will be the emotional guardian of the group, while Jungkook, with his new masculine energy, can be an unwavering pillar of visual and musical strength. And HYBE knows this. They know that when all the members finish the draft and make a comeback with this new power, the impact won't just be in Korea, but global. Because the world will see BTS not just as a boy group, but as a symbol of resilience, unity, and real transformation. Finally, let's go back to that photo. Yes, one photo. But for those who know the context, the history, the struggle, and the theory, it's not an ordinary photo. It's a portrait of evolution. The evolution of two young people who used to be ordinary trainees, then global superstars, then now soldiers of the country training together in the cold military atmosphere. It wasn't just Taehyung and Jungkook at the gym. That's BTS in progress. And trust me, when they return to showbiz, you'll see. Their stages aren't just grander, but the meaning is much deeper, because they've gone through a phase that not every idol can go through. And they went through it together, with sweat, quietly, without drama. Just one photo that made millions of people believe that BTS, even on a break, are still living legends.